episode, look at that, 268. We're still out in the Summit Salon community. We're on the Facebook space. We're on the Instagram page. And we're always looking for new, latest, greatest, awesome sauce. And we've got some awesome sauce on steroids tonight. Lisa Hill is the manager of Bombshell Beauty Lounge, located Gainesville, Virginia. Summit coach Carrie Rutt, and I don't know if Carrie's in the house tonight or she's out in the field coaching. We'll see. But I wanted to really have a conversation that I think really addresses the heart and soul of salons. And there's this thing called profit. And Randy Kunkel, if he was here, and he is here, he's in the community online tonight, and I think it's something like, what is it, Randy? 7 or 8 out of 10 salons are not breaking even. They're at or below cash flow. You've got maybe 1 or 2 that are making some money, and we discovered. I shouldn't say we, Lisa and company have discovered a new technology in managing a cost without compromising on the integrity of a hairdresser's art, without causing upheaval and people to go away. And it's called Vish, and we're going to be talking about that this evening. But I wanted to really kind of show you where they're at in sales, what they were trending. It's a beautiful small business called the Growing Small Model. 635 got through COVID at 475. They're just under about, what does that look like? About $75,000 increase trending in 2021. And we're going to see some things tonight that their cost went from 7% to 3%. And I'm going to show you what that means in terms of how much more profit. It's probably going to double their profit as a result of that. But I don't want to give too much of the juice away. Their stats are real interesting. Average service ticket is in the salon is 3 times the haircut price. They are doing a lot, tons of color. High-end color, premium color, and I think that's why you can see that when you've got something that manages cost like Vish, it does make a difference. This is what's really interesting. Their branding is such that when you take 100% of their new business, 100% of their clients coming in, half of that community is referral. So the brand now is larger than any individual in the brand. And the other 31% is salon of the total is a new non-request, if you will, running at 83% repeat, 14% RTS, and rebooking at 85. So the stats are right on the right on the money. If you I'd like you to follow them. I love how they've branded themselves on Instagram. Their Instagram handle is Bombshell Beauty Lounge and Salon. So they're in my green room now, both Lisa and Tim. I'm gonna bring them out, and I'm gonna get Lisa to really talk about the story of the salon as it relates to what the business was like before Vish, when Vish came in, and how it's running now. And I think it'll give us all an appreciation of how this can implicate a salon's bottom line. So I'm going to do this, couple little maneuvers here to make it work. Go full screen, unmute my 2 friends. You are going to make them feel welcome. Hi Lisa, hi Tim, good to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Lisa, I know you're in the salon, so you're in the back room still.
Yes.
Still open tonight, huh? And so you've got your iPad set up. I'd love to get right into it and talk about how Bombshell was running before the wake up, if you will, with Vish, and what kind of got you to that point where you were looking for a solution. You just couldn't try to control cost manually anymore.
Right. Well, I started noticing the amount of color that was being put in the trash, and I decided to weigh it one week just to see, and it was over a pound in a week. So after doing some math, that ends up being over $7,000 in a year that was going in the trash. And that's not even counting what was being washed down the sink or anything. So it was making our cost for color very high.
And so you all of a sudden you're like watching this, and so one day you decide that you're going to see if you can quantify it, and you're saying, gee, we're running $7,000, not over, but we're in through a way that there's $7,000 more color going down the drain, and that represented a big chunk of your profits. Yes.
Yes.
So I wanted to give Tim. Tim, as I'm sure this is not front page news to you, Tim. You're one of the co-founders of Vish. What comes up in you as you listen to this, probably for the 1000th time?
Well, I mean, that's exactly where Vish started from. It was, I own a couple of salons, and I used to travel as an educator across North America. And it was the same song that was being sung in every salon, that we have this waste problem, and we know it's there. We don't know how to get control of it. Salons have done many things, like put a dispensary in place, so one person's handing out color and mixing it. But I think, as Lisa mentioned before, to myself anyway, that there's a bucket. We'd take that bucket, we'd look at all the hair color waste, and we'd show it in a staff meeting. Everybody would be, shocked and horrified by the amount of waste. But we would just go on about our day because we're just being shocked by the waste. We're not really offering a solution as to how to solve the problem. So I set out to solve it. And that's one thing that we do, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But really what Vish is about is improving the health of a salon by, lowering costs, increasing revenue with hair color, and just overall improving the bottom line.
Yeah. So, Lisa, what was the difference maker? So the idea that like you said, you were trying to make people aware, but they would wake up for a few minutes, and then we kind of go back to our rhythm. What was the thing that really kind of woke you up and set you on the trajectory that you're on now?
Well, we had a contest, which literally was a jar. We had teams compete, and it was great. Everybody was watching what they were using. As soon as the contest was over, of course, nobody paid attention anymore. And so that's, affecting the color, but also affecting how we charge clients to make sure we're not under or overcharging. And so I started trying to find something, and I actually posted a question on the Summit community, and somebody mentioned Vish, and I started checking it out, and that's how we got involved with them.
Yeah, so you kind of got to a place that you can run a contest, you can have a meeting, you can have,
Yes.
but until you have a technology that helps you to wrap your arms around this and your staff, it's wishful thinking.
Correct.
So, Tim, what comes up in you as you listen to that?
Well, I mean, it's to have a solution like this. I mean, the color bar is changing. I'm old enough that I was around when the paper appointment book got replaced by a digital appointment book, and we know how that's revolutionized, changed so many things about the way we run our business. Is that the color bar's changed now, right? We're not writing things down. We're going to use technology to improve not only how we run things, and it's not just about profitability. It's also about making the hairdresser's life easier, making the color from visit to visit more consistent. What we can measure at Vish is the tangible things, which is, how much waste you have, how much new revenue you're generating. But it's the overall experience that happens in the salon, and when clients watch their hairdresser mix on this tool, it really ups the level of service that is being provided in the salon with hair color.
So you're saying that the technology is much about enhancing or galvanizing the guest experience as it is about attempting to manage the business.
Correct. I mean, we've been great at, raising our menu and doing more services and more expensive services. So, the consistency is everything. It's what it is in restaurants, any business that you go to. And when we're writing down formulas, when we're charging a client a different price every time, we're not being consistent. Because I know I was a traveling hairdresser. One of the problems I had was I was so busy and not thorough with recording my formulas, that guest would come in when I wasn't there, and the experience wouldn't be the same, and the color wouldn't be the same. So, we wanted to also solve that issue.
Nice. I love it. So, Lisa, I wanted to ask you because this next stat you want to give, frankly, kind of blew the sides off of my brain box. And I had to ask you, am I really reading this right? And that is, you shared with me how much the color, we'll call it expense, was reduced. I want it to come from your mouth, not mine.
So we were using a 7% budget weekly for professional orders, and most of the time I was hitting the top of that budget or going over. But since we've gotten Vish, it has went down to barely 3%. Most times I can keep it under 3%, and that's also including what I pay for Vish each month is coming off the top of that budget, and I'm still able to keep it barely at 3%.
So you went from 7 to
Yes.
3, and that's after the Vish investment. I just did a little math based on your stats, and I take that 4% saving is $22,000 a year in profit, and
Yes.
if you're running, let's just say a 10% profit, for the sake of this, you would need to do an additional $220,000 in sales to yield the same $22,000 profit you're going to enjoy because you've controlled costs
Yes.
in the way that you've done that.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Tim, what comes up in you as you hear me like kind of geek out on the math part, because that puts it in very, very, very real terms.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me delighted for one, because it's exactly why Vish was created. We want to see salons healthier. We want to see them grow, expand. And it's not about reducing costs just for that. It's so that there's more money in the bank. There's more things to do with it, to increase your business. And what I love about that is, like you said, Michael, it's how much effort is put into generating that extra revenue that you spoke of, $200,000. A lot of man hours, a lot of time. Whereas you can really just focus inward, control your costs effortlessly. Vish does all the work. All you're doing, and I'll just show you, is you're replacing the scale that you have with one of our scales. And we sync that to an iPad. So while your hairdressers are working, we're streamlining the process, and you're more profitable without the effort that it would take to the man hours, the electricity, everything, to do $200,000 more in sales.
Right. So I mean, we could have a conversation just on this point. I'm curious, Lisa. What have you? That's a big number. A $22,000 growth in profit on the same sales is amazing. Are you still kind of pondering, okay, how do we use that to grow the business, and or is that so new that you're still trying to wrap your mind around it?
No, I mean, we're looking at that, and by also focusing on using what Vish data gives us, we're also able to focus more to actually save more money later on. As far as people overusing Olaplex, for example, things like that. So we're going to keep going with it. We're going to keep looking at what everybody uses, how much, and kind of keep watching, because there are other ways that Vish is going to help us save.
Right. I'm having conversations, probably 2 or 3 a day, with Vish salons that we're kind of like pipe dreaming around this topic here, where the idea of using the profit to grow the business. I've even saw a couple of owners talk about fueling or being in a position to offer some sort of matching contribution on long-term savings like 401k. So whatever the answer to that question is tonight, I think it's going to pale in 6 months, 9 months, a year, never mind 5 years. Tim, what's your take?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that is a really important point to make, is that the money that's saved for the salons is, again, it's not going into the owner's pockets. It's not padding salaries. It's not for a brand new sports car. It's to turn it around, to make the business better, to make the lives of the hairdressers better, and to grow and expand your business. When we're healthy, right? So if we look at a typical salon that starts with Vish is using about $8 per application on average, which means There's people using $5 per application. There's people using $12 to $15 per application. And our goal as a company is to work with salons to align everybody's cost per application and reduce it. So, we'll align everybody down to about the $4 per application mark so that the customer's bills are consistent, and then we're able to reduce the cost. Now, one of the things that we also do is add new revenue to the salon. So just to give it a sort of nutshell version of how that works, is the best way to think about it is right now, currently in the industry, if you're not using a tool like Vish, you'll see customers come into your salon, and your regulars will be every 4 or 6 weeks. And they get a highlight and a toner and a cut. But then you've got the customers that come infrequently. They come maybe every 10 weeks, 12 weeks for that same service. Typically, we're charging them the same amount of color, or same amount for the service rendered. So what Vish is able to do is that 6 weeks usually requires 20 or 30 grams worth of color more. So we're making sure that that's visible to the front desk, that they can collect it, so that those two services are equally profitable, no matter who does them, the frequency of the visit, the length, the thickness, the porosity of the hair. We're making sure that each one is the same in terms of profitability.
I love it. I love it. So, Lisa, I want you to talk about in last word, what would the last word be for the salon owner, and what would the last word be for the stylist? Because there's people looking at this, and they're fear the unknown. So you're now well into the pool. What do you have to share?
Well, for salon owners, I definitely recommend everybody getting Vish. You will notice within the first 30 days how it can help change the way people do things, the way they're measuring. And, with stylists, measuring it immediately goes to the front desk. It makes them more aware of what they're pouring as well. And as for the stylist, it is a little bit difficult the first 10 days or so, once you get Vish. But if you be patient, it takes time to learn the system. Once you get into it, it's going to save you so much time. You don't have to think about color formulas. The next time the client comes in, it's already there. With the reweigh feature, you automatically get the grams adjusted. So now your new formula is adjusted to exactly what the client needs, and there's no waste. So it benefits everybody all the way around.
I love it. Tim, what do you have to say?
Yeah, just like anything new, anything that we try to onboard or implement in a salon, whether that's a new, dress code, whether that's just a new way of doing things. When balayage became a thing, a lot of my team dragged their feet, getting on board with it. And now it's such a staple in what we do. So change is difficult at times, but the benefits are there. Again, benefit to the salon, benefit to the customer, benefit to the hairdresser, but a big benefit to the environment. Right? We need to focus on that. We need to make sure that, if we're wasting color, we're not only wasting the money, it's also going down the drain, which is ending up in our waterways, it's ending up in our landfills. And we have to be, thinking about future generations when we're doing that. So if we can reduce it and save money, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
And I just want to speak about that reweigh. So for everybody who doesn't know, what that means is that when you mix color and you put it in your bowl, I'm going to mix a bowl of bleach right now. I've gone back, I've applied that bleach, I needed a little bit more. So I've come back and I added it to the bowl. Vish is tracking that all the way along. So the final step is when you have your color bowl at the end, instead of putting it in the sink, all you need to do is lay it back on the scale for 2 seconds. We'll calculate what was mixed, what was used, what was wasted, and we'll update that formula with the right amount for the next time the customer comes in. So literally from one visit to the next, that waste is eliminated.
And so you're also eliminating, I have to go back to the color bar and get some more color because I'm
right.
out. So it's going slower to move fast. So you're saving time and energy. The other thing I wanted to ask either one of you about to weigh in on this is it gives an opportunity for hairdressers. I've been saying this, charging what we're worth.
Yes.
That you're using more supply, charge that because that's going to prosper you as much as it prospers the whole.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, Lisa, if you don't mind, I've got a lot to speak on that because I was a busy hairdresser who was guilty of it all the time. And I know hairdressers were not malicious about it. We just simply forget or don't have time. So customer comes in, books online, books by phone, however, they book for a highlight service. Well, we know by the time they arrive that there's more to it than just a highlight. There's probably a toner. There could be from half to full head highlight. There may be a treatment. So because these extra services are booked, we now need to find that time. So I know for me, when I'm adding these extra services, I'm running behind a little bit. So I look over and I see my next guest is waiting for me. And then, I don't like people waiting. So I'm rushing to get that customer to say goodbye, to go to the retail, and I forgot to charge them for that toner. So what happens there is that we're giving away that toner. That means as a hairdresser, I'm not getting what I'm worth because I did the service. The salon is eating the cost of that. And then that customer is going to come back in 8 weeks. What happens if we remember the toner the next time? Now their bill is fluctuated and they don't know why. So what we're able to do is make sure the pricing is done automatically. So no matter what you do, how much you use, we're just going to update front desk for you. So you'll make more money, the salon is more profitable, and the customer gets consistent service from visit to visit.
I love it. Well, Tim, I know that you and I were chatting before the program. I want to weigh in with Lisa, and then I wanted to see if you could give us, you showed me a fascinating chart that I'd like to have you kind of give a treetop flyover
Absolutely.
because I think it's important data. Lisa, is there anything you want to add to what's been said so far?
I'm good right now.
Okay, all right. So Tim, show us what you got.
Yes, of course. So what I'm going to pull up now, I'm going to share my screen with you. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a quick overview. So this is actually Lisa's dashboard. And I know it's a little bit hard to see here, but we'll make sure that it becomes more visible. And what you're seeing right now is a summary of the last 30 days in these boxes up on top. You can take your dashboard to whatever date range that you'd like, but we default to 30. First thing you're looking at here, and I'm going to go back into the insights, is we can see formulas reweighed. And one thing that I want to do is I want to tip my hat to Lisa and her team, because this is the first time we've seen salons get to 98 and 99% reweigh. This is the first time I've seen a salon do 100% reweigh in 30 days. So amazing job. You can see that Lisa's waste is at 6% right now, which is very low. And out of $1,500 worth of hair color, only $99 was wasted. Now, we're going to get a little bit lower. We'll probably get under 5%. But just most salons, when they started with us, they're between the 30 and 40% waste range. So to get a salon down here is a massive amount of savings. Right here is you're seeing the product dispensed. So that is a true cost of what it was to do the services that are listed below for hair color. And product charges, that is a number that would have been missed because there was no way to do it. So when I spoke about, I've used an extra 20 grams of color. I added an extra scoop of bleach. Those incremental charges that we push to the front desk is represented right here in the product charges. So without Vish, that 670 would have been captured. And then we go further and we break it down by individual hairdressers. And you can see that it's only been since March or May, actually, April. I believe.
Yeah.
That it's since April. Thank you. So we've got some work to go. So we're already, $22,000 impact to the business, and we can still get that usage lower. So here you're seeing each employee, how much they're using per application. And like I said earlier, we're going to streamline that so everybody gets around the same number. But even more insight is the glossing services, the retouch services. We break them down to give you averages for the team so that, again, we know where the benchmarks are. We know what service is using too much so that we're able to level out profitability, not only between hairdressers, but also between services. Because what's happening right now in everybody's salon is your bleaching services, because they're typically 3 to 4 cents a gram, are carrying the weight for your toners that you're doing, the retouches that you're doing, which are costing you sometimes upwards of 40 and 50% of the revenue of that service. So we work together with you to understand, to make actionable items from the data that we present.
I love it. All right, we're just on the half hour. I wanted to. There's more to say. There's more to report on this. I'd like to invite you both to come back for an encore, because whatever this looks like, and you've been on it since April, so I'm doing the count. You know, April, May, June, July, August. So you're not even a half a year on it, and you're already trending this. It's going to be interesting to see where you're at this time next year. So promise me you'll come back.
Absolutely.
All right, so Tim, good to have you. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
Tonight,
really appreciate it. It's an honor.
Thank you for stopping. Lisa, say hi to your sister for me, will you?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to give it up for you
Thank
two one more
you.
time. See ya. Well, you know, I was. You saw me kind of making some notes. I mean, every time I have an opportunity to stand witness to this, I learn something new. So the idea that whatever profit, additional profit that we're going to enjoy, that that I want to take that profit and multiply it times 10 to say, oh, by the way, if you don't have this, this is how much more in sales it would take you to get the same amount of money. That idea that a dollar saved is a dollar earned. I'm going to say that again. A dollar saved is a dollar earned. That is not true with sales. If we want to earn a dollar in sales, we're going to have to make, depending, 10 times the dollar or 20 times the dollar. So as Tim was saying, that people are going to have to work harder, more wear and tear on the business. I just think that every time I see this, it blows the sides off of my brain box. The other thing I got from tonight is I'm going to have a conversation with Tim and his brother, co-founder Josh. I saw a lot of numbers, which are very interesting numbers. I think when we can turn those numbers into form, like pictures, a pie chart, bar line graph, I see pictures better than I see data. So when data is in form rather than text, I see that. So stay tuned, more will be revealed. It was a great conversation tonight. You're watching Michael Cole, Millionaire Stylist. We recorded this tonight. We'll edit this down, do a little micro learning on it, and put it on our Michael Cole Instagram, Michael Cole Millionaire Stylist Instagram, under the IGTV channel on that page, so you'll be able to watch maybe the 8, 9, 10-minute version of it. Also, I want to do my latest greatest project for Summit has been summit365.com. All of our production value video, some of our more transformational, personal, interpersonal development is going on that channel, and it's post-production, meaning that there's an enormous more amount of production value in it. Well, like tonight when you watch the rewatch, you watch the rewatch, but we're just able to do some things graphically in our training here. So sign up for that. It's a subscription site. It's a couple $100 a year. You can use your level loyalty points, L'Oreal PPD, to engage in that. So take advantage. Also, we continue through the sponsorship of L'Oreal to put digital calculators that are now gamified, and these are compliments of L'Oreal. You can go on our saloncalc.com. We got something called Dream Machine. We now have a brand new calculator called Salon Team Dream Machine to shows you how to set goals for the entire salon as a whole, as a team. It's off the charts. Brand new. Just put it on a day or so ago. Then we got Magic Day Calc, the Golden Goose, which is our savings calculator, debt-free, debt reduction calc, gamified fun, breaks it down to the day. By the inch, it's a cinch. And as I said, compliments L'Oreal. last but not least, I want to encourage you to go on summitsalon.com and see all the other resources that we have available for you. Schedule an online virtual consultation. Have one of our team kind of walk you through that. We're now moving at like Mach 5 into online coaching, Zoom coaching for salon owners. So take us up on a complimentary session. And last but not least, I always want to acknowledge L'Oreal PPD as being the exclusive business partner for Summit Salon Business Center. These are L'Oreal's brands: Biolize, Pulp Riot, Curology, Kerastase, L'Oreal Professional, Redken, Matrix Shoe, Mazzani, and of course they have a brand on their business education called Salon Emotion. So thank you, L'Oreal, for what you do for us. Great show tonight. If you were moved by it, blow in somebody's ear and have them, experience the rewatch, because I think it's something that will wake us up as salons and allow us to enjoy the profit we deserve without compromising on the integrity of the art, the integrity of the service, the integrity of the business. So it's one of those conversations that was for the good of all and the harm of none. So we'll see you soon. Stay well, my friend, and see you next.